Hi guys, today we'll be going over the baseball softball scoring application under Presto Sports. So first and foremost, when you log in, you'll choose the baseball season in question, which will be NWAC 2018-19, I believe, softball, baseball. You can find that under seasons here. For now, we're using the unofficial baseball one, so we'll click on it right here. From there, it'll take you to your schedule right here. It'll have your team, which should automatically populate to this window right here. When you're ready to score a live game, well, first let's go over how to create an event. So when we want to create a game to add it to our schedule, we're going to come to the Add Event button right here. Go ahead and click on it. Here it'll bring up our window where we can put our important information, including the date. We'll choose today. Time 12 p.m. You can change it that way or manually enter it with the keyboard there. So we'll say 12 p.m. for now. Visiting team, you would type it in. I'm just going to use Clark College, for example. Once we get our league set up, you'll have a list of teams to choose from. You're going to want to come down and select the team in question. If it's an out-of-conference team, just go ahead and type in their name and don't worry about selecting one. It'll just give you a key on that here in a second. Home team, for our unofficial season, we've got two teams, Umpqua being one of them, so I'm going to select them for now. If you're playing at a neutral site off campus, different than your normal home games, go ahead and type that in right there. Any other notes, don't worry about those. For non-conference games, we're going to select regional right here, and once we get into conference, we will only select the conference button right there. You don't have to worry about selecting regional. Conference division is not an option, so we're just staying between these two. If you want to run a test game or you're having a scrimmage, come over here and select the no contest exhibition. So we'll choose that for right now. And then you're going to select prime time for live scoring right here. Don't worry about this button, just make sure the prime time one's selected. So then we're going to save and view event. This will take us to our pregame screen right here. You can also find this in the schedule by clicking on that date button in the last window. So once we're here and we've got everything we like, we're going to hit the launch stats entry button. From here, this will take us to our game scoring app. Sometimes it loads quickly, sometimes it takes a second. If you're getting an error message that says cannot load too many cached games, just delete your browser history. You can use this on iPad and even some iPhones as well. So we're going to select live scoring. You would use score sheet entry if you're entering a backed game that maybe was played outside the NWAC or somewhere where there wasn't internet service. We'll get to that later. So for now, we're going to choose live scoring. Yes, so it'll take you to this window automatically. You're going to have to put in the location. I suggest doing that first. So here you'll have the two teams in question. Here you'll put in their overall record. And once we get to conference, you'll add their conference record. So for now, we're going to say it's early in the season. So Clark is 2-0 overall. And they haven't played a conference game yet, so we'll put 0-0. Umpqua, we'll say, is 1-1. They also haven't played a conference game yet. And then right here, anything with a red dot next to it means it's mandatory information that the system has to have. So location, we'll say Umpqua just plays on site. Umpqua. College. For attendance, try to be as thorough as you can. Include umpires. The total time will register itself once you complete and submit the game. Don't worry about the weather, that's not terribly important. Score, same thing, it defaults to me because that's who's associated with my account. Down here, just some of the rules that may depend or vary on baseball and softball. You should always have 9 batters on each team. Some innings you might play 7, some you might play 9. Softball we're playing 7, so I'll change that. We always want to have the DH rule selected as yes, because that's going to factor in, especially for softball, with the flex player and the designated position as well. So always make sure that's set to yes. Doubleheader game, if it's game 1, say game 1. If it's game 2, game 2. If it's not, just stay with game 1. Actually, I'm sorry, stay with game 0 if it's not a doubleheader. I'm not concerned about night or day game, and the home team always bats second, so no. And we're going to save, and so once we got the OK button here, we're going to come over to the roster management section. I'm just going to add some players. If you have somebody to add at the last minute, you can go ahead and hit the add button. Once you've entered in your roster on the Presto site, this will automatically load once you select the team in question. So I'm going to add some players. So pitcher, batter 2. Okay, we'll say the catcher. So once you have all your players added for both teams, you can toggle back and forth here. We're going to select a starting lineup. Here's where you'll enter your starting lineup. You'll have a list of players here you can select. We'll say batter 1 here, and then you're going to enter their position. If they are the designated player or the flex player, for flex, just go ahead and enter their position in the designated fielder slot or the extra fielder. So we'll say batter 2 is the flex, and they're playing second base. So that's where your flex or your pitcher in baseball would go if they're being DH'd for. Up here, if you have a designated player or designated hitter, both will be under the designated hitter icon. And then the rest you can fill in the other 9 positions. And then you'll hit save. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer over now to a game we already have in progress. Oops, where are we? Okay, so we're going to open this game up. That's already got some stats in it. So we'll go over in-game plays. Okay, just an overview. This will be your base screen right here. Here is your batting lineup that's currently at bat. The players in black will be your fielders. So, for example, we have left fielder, center field, right field, catcher, pitcher, and the others. Here's your running score up here by the inning. Whatever inning is yellow or gold, that's the current inning the system's on. And then that's your total box score for the game so far. Over here is your play-by-play. You can use this for editing and undoing. Let's say you added the wrong thing. You can come hit edit on the last play. You can insert a play before. You can delete the play altogether. Or you can edit what happened during the play if it's something minor, like a base runner called out, but then it was overturned. So you'd come and hit the edit button here. Okay, so for example, here we have a runner on first, and we've got Yoshioka coming up to the plate. So for balls and strikes, we're going to come down here and select input pitches right here. This will bring up a new window. You'll leave this window open until the batter either walks, strikes out, or puts it in play. So here you have your hotkeys for everything: foul ball, swinging strike, looking strike, ball, intentional walk, hit by pitch, and P for in play. If for whatever reason you need to close the window for a substitution, maybe mid-batter, this is where you do it. So for example, I'm going to put in a ball, and then I'm going to do a swinging strike, and then foul ball, and then she's going to put it in play. So now, that window closes, and you'll notice a blue highlighted box around the batter. Here's where you're going to put in the result of a play. Let's say she grounded out, well, let's say she got a hit to start with, and she singled to left field. So for single, I'm going to type in 1B in the batter's slot right there. Then I'm going to hit enter. Now, the highlighted box is going to switch to the runner at first, because now it wants to know what the runner at first it did. If the runner advances, we're just going to enter the plus sign. Plus sign advances a runner. The minus sign moves a runner back. So the runner at first advanced, so we're going to say that with the plus. If she advances 2 bases, for example, goes first to third, we're going to enter 2 pluses. So 1 plus equals 1 base, the second plus equals another base. So I'm going to hit enter there. And as you can see, it has now moved the batter Yoshioka to first, and Yazzelino, because we put 2 pluses, has now moved all the way to third. So that's how we would input a hit. For help with certain plays, if you're not sure what to put in, they give you a nice little cheat sheet here. So come up and select the help button. Here you'll get some instructions on how to do pre-game stuff, setting starters, editing plays. So we're going to come here and select this cheat sheet button. Now it's going to take you to a new window here. Go away, Adobe. And here you're going to see they've got some information on what certain keys do for certain sequences. So for hitters here, for hits, you can see 1B single, 2B double, 3B triple, HR home run. Here you should be able to find realistically everything that would possibly occur for a batter right here. Anything with a number sign means that's what the double play is. So for example, if they grounded into a 6-4-3 double play, you would put 6-4-3 and then GDP. And then for the base runners, you have a separate key as well. Plus key advances the runner, as we talked about. Multiple plus key advances multiple bases. SB for stolen base, pass ball, wild pitch, balk. Caught stealing, for example, thrown out at second, you would say 2 to 6. Catcher to the shortstop, caught stealing. And then for a double play or triple play, you would just put an X in the box for the runner. Pickoff, 1 to 3, pitcher to first base, pickoff. Base runner interference, INT, illegal pitch, catcher's interference, balk, right there. Advancing on an error by whichever fielder made the error. Say there was an error in left field, you would say +1 base and then E7, 7 for the left fielder. And then here's where they would advance on a throw. If there's a play at the plate, the batter could advance to second on a throw. You can put NA for no advance. If we've got first and third, player gets thrown out at second, but the runner at third does not advance, you would just type in FA, or NA, excuse me, and then FC where they advance on a fielder's choice. Okay, so use this sheet. It's very handy. You can set outs, you can set the batter, you can place runners on base for the international tiebreaker rule, and really it gives you every key you could possibly need over here. So for example, we're going to run a fielder's choice here. So we're going to say Chung hits the first pitch and it's a fielder's choice. And so Chung is going to advance to first, but Yoshioka is going to be put out at second. Let's say we hit a ground ball to short. The shortstop flips to the second baseman for a putout. So Yazzelino is going to advance to home on the play, so we'll put a plus here for her. But Yoshioka is going to be out at second. And so all you're going to do here is just type in the sequence of the play. So the shortstop made the play through to second base for the out, so we type in 6-4 for the putout. Then we hit enter, and it wants the third base runner. We already did that. So how many RBIs for Chung? This will pop up anytime a ball is put in play and a runner scores. So if 2 runners score, you would say 2 RBIs for her. Oh, we didn't like that. So we're going to edit that. Change it to RBI 1. Hit save. Now you'll see the runner at third is advanced. The runner at first was put out at second, and the batter is now at first base. So whenever there's a fielder's choice, depending on who advances, even if nobody advances or everybody advances, we're going to type in FC for the batter. So just like a normal paper scorebook, whatever happens, fly out to left field, go to the runner at first, they did not advance, we'll hit enter, and that will record an out for the inning. So once the end of the inning's over, it's going to give you the running total for the inning. So we had 1 run on 2 hits, there was no errors, and we had 1 runner left on base. So once you like what you see, you can hit next inning. If there's something that doesn't look correct here, you'll come back and hit edit plays, which will take you to these. So we're going to hit next inning. Okay, so now the next team's up, and we're going to say there was a pitching change. So for a pitching change, all we're going to do is we're going to click on the pitcher right here, and we're going to select whoever came in to pitch. So we're going to say the third baseman, Sung, is now pitching, and where's she at? So Sung is now pitching, and Neff is now at third base, 3B. So then we're going to save that, and now you'll see our 2 players switched. If it's a player coming out of the bullpen, you'll just scroll down the list on your roster until you find the player you like, and you'll just select their name. And that's it for pitching change. This also works with fielders. You can switch fielders around using the same method we just did, or bring somebody in off the bench that way. So that'll be your substitutions in the field. For a pinch hitter, you'll just click on the hitter in the lineup. Notice it'll say pinch hitter, and you'll scroll down, pick the hitter in question. So it can be somebody off the bench. So you'll scroll down, select their number, and then that player will now be at bat. And it will automatically put them in their position at the start of the next inning unless you sub back in at the beginning of the inning in the field. So overall, that's the basic input keys for baseball, softball. Once we're done, you can come back, complete information. Then we're going to go to reports. Here's where you find your report. Back in there. And then here's where we put in pitching decisions, winning pitcher, losing pitcher, their record on the year, and then if there was a save, we'd click there. So we'll say that's it for now. And then there we have the changes that have been saved. And so that's it for baseball, softball. Hopefully it's not too difficult. If you guys run into issues, please feel free to call at any time.